Welcome everyone to the second ever live stream of VLAM, Video Lighting, Audio, Music, and Photography How-To Show. I'm, of course, your host, Matt Haslam, and today we are talking about an update to a previous episode of VLAM. Now, on a previous episode of VLAM, we talked about efficiently storing your footage in Season 2, Episode 22 of the show. And in that show, we said to basically organize your files in master files, king files, and a whole bunch of other master files and sub files. So today we're going to go through how we do that, an updated version, because that way was good way back when, but now we actually have a lot more footage to deal with. And so we have an update for you. And this is a little bit better if, let's say, you're filming multiple events a day and you absolutely need to get your footage organized in a very efficient manner. So, as you can see, we have our File Explorer open. This works on any Mac or PC. By the way, this way of organizing things, it doesn't matter what type of computer you're using. This is the same regardless. The only difference would be is that rather than opening the Finder window right down here, you'd be opening your Windows on your PC computer. And by the way, I used the same method back when I used to be editing on a PC computer. I still edit on a PC computer on the road on a laptop, but now we have a iMac Apple computer in the office because we had to edit on Final Cut Pro as well as Premiere. And honestly, it doesn't matter what program you're using to edit on. We use the same method for a very long time now, and it works just fine on Magix Video Pro X and Final Cut and Premiere. It does not matter how you're editing your projects. It just matters that your footage is organized. So we're going to open the Finder window right here. And as you can see, this is like all the files on the computer, which is a lot. But we're going to open the RAID system, which is actually our way of organizing all of our files and making sure everything's backed up upon backup. We have RAID 1 plugged in right now. In the office, we have 8 RAID systems. That's the number 8, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We actually have a 42 terabyte RAID system here in the office, and then everything is backed up off site as well. Now, we used to use a program called Amazon Drive, which was a way that we can upload our footage to an online service provider, which was Amazon, and they would back everything up for us completely online, and it was for $60 a year for unlimited data use. So that means we can upload our 40 terabytes of footage to their service for just $60 a year for them to keep it and store it for us. That way, if one of our RAID system drives failed, we had a backup at least. Now, if you don't know what RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Drives. Or if you're, it depends on where you are in the country of like what you actually call it, but it's either Redundant Array of Independent Drives or Redundant Array of Inexpensive Drives. Either way works, but independent is a lot more industry standard way of saying it because everything is independent from one another. You never should have more than 2 of your drives plugged into your computers at one time, because what if something happens, right? So in our RAID system, we actually split things up quite a bit into different RAID drives here in the office, because we don't want all of our 2017 footage to be on this one RAID 1. We want some of it in RAID 1, we want some of it in RAID 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. We want all of our footage backed up in different places in a redundant array of independent drives, right? And here in the office, we kind of back everything up twice. So we have 2 copies of it here at the office somewhere. We have 2 different editing suites that each have their own RAID system completely attached to them, and in each of those is multiple external hard drives that have each and every one of them have different parts of footage from different projects. So if we're filming 2 different projects today, it's most likely going to be a thing where that footage is not going to all be in RAID 1. It's not going to all be in RAID 2. It's going to be in RAID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Different parts in different places. And that's what we're going to talk about today, just so that you guys understand how to back up your files so that they are safe. The one important thing I want to note here is that Amazon recently went to a system where they're charging $60 a year per terabyte of footage, and so we're no longer using that service. And that was our off-site way of backing things up way back in the day. And for, honestly, a couple years now, that's been our way of doing it, because we got to back up our 42 terabyte RAID system online and then never really had to worry about having an offsite backup, because that was our offsite backup. They kept our footage for us, and that way we can go get any piece of footage that we ever need in case, like, what if there's a fire at our office? What if, right? And so we needed a way to back up all of our footage somewhere else off-site. That way we can go get that piece of footage later if we ever needed to. And Amazon Drive was that way of doing things until they changed their pricing and royally messed up everything for all of the creators that were on that platform. And in previous videos, I actually recommended Amazon Drive. I no longer do that because how much they're charging. Now they're on a plan where it would cost us, hundreds upon hundreds a year just to even skim the surface of our footage. So now we back everything up on an offsite location, which also has a 42 terabyte RAID system, and that way everything's backed up offsite at another office that we own. And that way, just in case something happens here, there's like a natural disaster or something, we always have the footage somewhere else. And you might ask yourself, why do you need to have footage in multiple places? Because, honestly, a lot of creators, a lot of photographers and videographers out there might say, well, after a project is completed, all I keep is the finished project. All I keep is that final exported version of my video or exported version of my photos, right? That's all I keep. I don't keep the raw photos anymore. I don't keep the raw video files anymore, because who cares about that, right? Especially if you're a company like MHP, my company itself, we film everything in with 10 cameras normally. We film with, tons of audio recorders normally. So we might come back with, 24 to, 48 hours of footage from a simple 2-hour event, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. So why keep all the raw footage? Well, truth is, we've been asked a lot, especially lately, to go back in our archives and find stuff. And let's say we're filming, let's say, for instance, we're filming a dance recital, or we're filming a musical, or we're filming, even if we're filming something that's scripted, let's say we're filming it with multiple cameras. One's a wide shot, one's a close-up shot, right? And for the actual project, we decide we're going to go with a wide shot because that's what we want in the edit. Well, years from now, we might get asked by that actor or whoever, and they might say to us, well, we're looking at building an acting highlight reel of our project. And we want a close-up of, I want a close-up of myself acting in this show or whatever it was. And great. Okay. So unfortunately, way back when in the original edit, we actually used a wide shot. Well, now we either have to do what's called a digital zoom in post-production, which I don't like doing and I don't recommend, or we can just go back to the raw footage and find the close-up shot that we had of the same thing. And so that's what we do. We go back to the original footage and find the close-up. Everything's already synchronized. We go back to the original project file and pick it up right where we left off, right? If anyone ever wants changes on a project, we're able to go back and pick up right where we left off, even if that project was years ago, which is amazing, That's something where not everyone is able to do that, but we're able to do that because we keep everything. And that's why we keep everything, because we're asked to do that so often. And so today we're going to show you how we organize our footage. That way we can keep everything on file somewhere. And like I said, everything you're about to see, we have a copy of all of this offsite. We have 8 other independent drives at our other office elsewhere. That's an undisclosed location that no one ever sees the address to because we don't want them to. And that way, everything here is backed up somewhere else. Because the problem is that one drive, you can buy a drive for a couple $100s, that's not a big deal. But as soon as you start putting footage on that drive is now worth whatever that footage is worth. And that footage might have cost hundreds and might have cost thousands upon thousands to film. And so, or it might be of a wedding or something like that where it's priceless footage, And so now we spent, a couple $1,000s building out our RAID systems at the multiple offices, but it's worth, hundreds upon hundreds of thousands, because of what's on it. And that's why we try to protect everything and organize things really well so we can go back and find them later on. So what we're actually going to do today is we're going to import some new footage. And we're going to import a simple 1-camera project into our database, which was from July 4th, which is Independence Day here in the United States. We're going to import this footage from a GoPro Hero 5 Black Edition. And of course, I just lost the SD card below my desk. Hold on a second. That's what happens when you're live. So you guys can't see any of this because the editing suite I'm in right now has the SD card reader for the Mac computer right by a little notch on my desk that SD cards tend to fall into. So I'm going to put it in right now. And then, as you can see, it's right here now. Now, how do we import this footage? Well, I think we first have to look at each of these files, this is how each and every RAID drive is organized for us. So we have our Adobe files, which are basically every single project file on Adobe, which means Premiere, Illustrator, Lightroom, Audition, After Effects, Photoshop, you name it, it's all right there. So that way we can go back to any project file from any project we've done in Adobe systems. I tend to keep the Final Cut Pro files separate, but sometimes I just save them in there. That way all the project files are actually in that project. Documents are basically documents are basically any personal or business documents we have on the computers, and that would include the invoices, the production documents we need, such as like every time we go out to a production location, we have to get their permission to be there. So it's permission forms and stuff like that. Written permission from everyone that's going to be on an interview for a camera interview. That's all in there. And basically, for a project, we might create a new permission form, which is a production form. We'll save it in that documents folder under that project. And then we actually just, after we're done the event and people sign the permission slip that allows them to be on camera or allows us to be on that specific location, we actually scan that into our computer system again and save it in that documents folder again under that project file. So that way everything is in that documents folder. And that way, if we ever need to, we have backups of those signatures. Then finished video files are basically all the finished videos we've ever done. Excuse me. So basically, we have thumbnails for every video that we put out, and we also have videos, which, by the way, I work at a television station, so different projects that I work on for them. I have the broadcast here. I don't have the original footage from it, but I have the broadcast itself here in the RAID system. And this isn't all company work. This is stuff that I might do myself. Just I keep those projects there for demo reels and show reels later on when I'm making those for myself. Graphic packages. So we have all the different graphic packages that we've created over the years. They're all here. Well, some of them are here because some of them are actually in Premiere. But then we have client work and then VLAMP work. So VLAMP has like season 5. Every single episode from season 5 is right here. You might notice that we also have 100th episode special right here. So it is complete. It's all ready to go for next Monday. But yeah, all of our finished video files get saved right here. That way we can always look up the finished projects once they're all complete. We also have footage right here, which is all of the original raw footage that comes into the computers, whether it be photos, video, audio, whatever, comes into footage folder. WD files are just random Western Digital files that come with the hard drives. But on here we have every single year that we have filmed so far. We also have stock assets, which allow us to have different stock assets that we've downloaded from other services, such as rampantdesigntools.com or cinecom.net. By the way, if you haven't checked out those two, go check them out. Rampant Design has a ton of free assets that are available. Basically, these are packs that you can download. For instance, you can download glitch transition effects, and they give you 4 in each pack. But then, as you're going to note, it's 37, 54, 72, and 102, so there's definitely some missing there, which means basically this is like a little way they can show you the quality of their products, and then you can go download the actual glitch transitions pack that they sell on their website, which I highly recommend. But for most of the work I do, some of these packs they're just the free packs. I use these plenty, but they're free to use for any commercial or personal projects. So I highly encourage supporting rampantdesigntools.com. They're a fantastic resource. Cinecom.net is the same way. I just have all the sample lower thirds that they have, bad VHS overlays, a whole bunch of different things that they've done over the years I had in these project files. That way it's, a stock asset I can bring in at any time to a project, right? So I keep everything organized that way. And that way when I'm importing footage, I can go, okay, I want a stock asset from Rampant. Okay, I can import it just as easily. And I want to go back into the documents folder or whatever, So in here, we're actually going to import some footage right now from this SD card that I just brought over from a camera that we had from a recent event, right? So how do we go about doing this? And that way we can always come back to this footage later and find it. Well, that's actually a whole lot easier than you might think. And like I said, in each of these folders, we have like 2015. We have so much more in RAID 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is just files that we keep on this one RAID drive. So there's a lot, right? So here's how we do it. We're going to create a new folder, and we're going to title it with 2017, because this was, and by the way, you're going to go with the production day that it was actually filmed, not the day that you're importing the footage, because sometimes you might do an event that's, really late at night or something and import it the next day. You're going to actually go with the production day itself. So this is 2017. This was actually filmed on July the 4th, 2017. And the reason why we put the year and then the month first is because we want everything to be organized by the date. So if we put 07, or if we put like 07, 04, 2017, then it's just my personal way of doing it there. You can do it any way you like. I like having the year first, and that way, when I'm scrolling through all these later on, I can go, okay, I want 2017 footage, and I want, let's say, March footage, and then I want, Central Columbia High School, It's just a matter of how I organize things. You can organize things however you like when it comes to this, as far as the first part of the name here, but I highly encourage having it by the date, not by the production number, because it just gets so confusing to have it by the production number. There's tons of times where, we're filming something over the course of, we've had things over the course of like 2-3 years that we filmed, and it's just so confusing to go back and try to find that production number. For me, we do so many productions that I can't remember, oh, that production was this specific number. No, I'm going to remember that we shot that last fall, and I'm going to look in last fall's files, and try to find it from there. That's what I'm going to do. And so this was just July 4th birthday party footage. So I'm just going to title with the production title that we had. For instance, if we just did a music video for One Word, my new song that's available now on iTunes, but little plug there, shamelessly. But One Word music video, and then we had another little dash, and then hospital scene, Sweetheart Lake, shower scene, green screen, bed scene. By the way, if you haven't seen the music video, don't get confused by that. It's a hospital bed scene, and then me pulling up my hair in the shower. So it's not anything bad. But with all that said, that's how I organize it. That way I know, okay, this is that project, and then that's what scene that was. But like I said, we're just doing the birthday party footage right now. And with this project, there was only one camera for it. So we're actually going to go up here to New Folder, and we're going to put Cam 1. Cam 1, which was GoPro Hero 5. And I'm just going to title it that way. For instance, with other projects where we have multiple cameras, I have camera 1, camera 2. Under, let's say, a big project for us, we would have cam 1, handheld, camera 2, tripod in the corner. We would describe which camera it is, and that way we can, when we're doing a multicam edit later on, I can go, okay, that was GoPro 3, or that was GoPro 5, or that was from that certain angle in the corner, that was a handheld shot. It just makes it a lot easier to find things later, especially when you're doing like multicam edits and stuff like that. For those wondering, whenever we're doing just a one camera shoot, this doesn't have any audio recorder footage. It doesn't have multiple cameras. I just took one camera because it was a party. I organized things the same way, with still saying Cam 1, GoPro Hero 5, so I know what kind of camera it was. This way I'm also not going into this file 3-4 years from now trying to find footage and, not, if like I just copied all the files into here, I would go, okay, was there multiple cameras here, or was it just one camera, Let's say I have multiple GoPro Hero 5 cameras. I'm going to put camera 1, GoPro Hero 5, camera 2, GoPro Hero 5. That way it's organized by the number the camera was that day on production, and that way I'm not looking through here and going, oh, was there multiple cameras in here, or was it just one? This way I know it was just one camera. And now we're going to actually go over to here and open a new Finder window, because that way it's a little bit easier to see for you guys. And I'm going to go to the actual SD card, go find all the files. Now, on these files, I really don't care about the LRV files, the THM files, whenever I'm recording, like on a Hero 5, which is the newest version out right now. But I copy them anyway. I don't use them. I've done it before where I just copied the MP4 files from a GoPro, and it works just fine, but I don't like chancing it, and that way I'm not like formatting the card and, I someday need that file later for something. So I copy everything over, because footage is just footage for us. It's nothing. So I'd much rather have everything there and worry about it later. I'd much rather copy everything and then format the card after that. So here's what we'll do. We'll bring it over all the footage into RAID 1. And then what we'll do is we'll actually, once a week, we switch out the hard drives here in the office with the ones that are on an offsite backup location. And that way, all of our footage is backed up. I won't format these SD cards until it is copied at least 2 to 3 times here at the office and the offsite backup location. So if we're filming something tomorrow, we're actually going to use different SD cards for that project, and that way we're not formatting new cards before formatting a card before the footage is copied multiple times. I need that footage copied before we format the card just in case. If we're filming a big project on location with our new production truck, we also have a full DIT station in our mobile command center, which goes with us everywhere we go for bigger productions of any substantial size. If we're just filming, like, this is a birthday party, so obviously I just took a camera with me and had some fun. But for normal projects, we'll take the full DIT station in our production truck. By the way, a DIT station, if any of you are confused by this, a DIT station is simply just a computer with a couple hard drives on it in your production truck. Okay, so that it can be in a car, it can be whatever, as it can be even just a laptop in a you take with you on your road when you're going on vacation or something. You know, a mobile DIT station is just that. It's digital imaging technician. It's just a person that copies over the footage and organizes it all into hard drives. So if we're on location, what we're actually going to do is, with a full DIT station there, is we have a 2 terabyte mobile little external hard drive that we talked about before on the show. We also have a 1 terabyte mobile hard drive that goes with us everywhere. They are both just regular hard drives you can buy at any, electronic store. But they're not like, they're full USB powered, so when you plug them into your laptop, they're powered by the USB, not by external devices, or just that way you don't have to plug it into a wall or anything. That way, if we're on location in the middle of a forest, we can just plug our external hard drives into the laptop, and the laptop battery will handle it from there. So it's pretty simple, but that way we organize the footage the same way. We still create the 2017, 07, 04, whatever the production title was that day, and then dash whatever scene we were filming. We put it all into here the same way, by which camera it was, which audio recorder it was, then put all the footage into that certain file. And we do all of that on the 2 terabyte on location drive. And then we also copy every piece of footage over to the 1 terabyte on location drive. Then when we're back here at the office, we copy into our computer here from the original SD cards. We don't copy from those on location drives. And you might ask yourself, why do we do that from the SD cards instead of the external hard drives when everything's already organized on the external hard drives? Well, if it's a big project and we have to, or if it's a big project such as like let's say it's a family vacation we're going on, or like a big trip we're going on somewhere and we're not going to be back for a couple days, then we probably will copy from those external hard drives, those on location drives, which is perfectly fine. However, we don't like doing that, because what if it copied wrong? And what if the file isn't perfect on that drive? We want to copy from the original SD cards. So we have a ton of SD cards that we use. We make sure all of our SD cards are the same for each camera. So we have, 4 SD cards that are the same for camera 1, 4 that are the same for camera 2. We have different like little bins that we take with us each and every day, so that way in case, tomorrow we're filming something else, we can just take a different bin with us, and that way we don't have to format cards so rapidly overnight. So we have a ton of SD cards. That way, everything that way we can make it easier on ourselves overnight kind of productions. But once it's all in here in the actual footage on the RAID system, we'll actually take this and copy it over to the other RAID system, which is at an offsite location, which I'm not going to show here on camera because it basically is just copying this file that's right here and pasting it into the other drive that's off-site. But that is how we organize our footage, and that way we can go find anything from any time, from any production. So we can go back to and this is exactly what we did for episode 100, which is coming out next week on the show. We went back to, season 2, episode 1 of MH News. Okay, we can go find the original footage from that project, and anything that was edited out of that footage for the actual broadcast that you guys saw online, we can go back and find all the bloopers, the outtakes, everything from that was maybe edited out. That's why we keep everything for like MH News purposes, but we keep everything for other projects for client work, because we might have to go back one day and start right from where we left off and get like a close-up shot instead of a wide shot, or a wide shot instead of a close-up shot, so on and so forth. We want every piece of footage from everything, and that's why we organize things so efficiently here. And so if you're saying to yourself, do I really need everything from every project? Yes, you do. I'm sorry, you do. It's just responsible being in this industry, and it's just a responsible way to do things. So with all that said, I am going to leave it there today. Thank you all for joining us for this special episode, the special live broadcast of MH News VLAMP Video Lighting Audio Music Photography How-To Show. I'm, of course, your host, Matt Haslam. And like I said at the beginning of the last broadcast, and I'll say it this one, this is just a test of the live broadcast system to make sure everything works properly and to make sure everything's going out under a good quality and we don't have any mistakes for the actual 100th episode live broadcast, which is going to be next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday, July 10th, 2017. We have our 100th episode special. It is going to be live. We've already recorded all the bits that we needed for it. As a matter of fact, I will show you the finished video files for that episode itself, which are right here. Today on VLAMP, we turn 100. So that is the beginning of episode 100. That's going to come out next Monday. That's all recorded, ready to go out there. All it's waiting is time. So it's going to go out live Monday, July 10th, 2017 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're under a different time zone, just look up what time zone you're in and just tune in live for it. We will also have the rebroadcast available afterwards, but right after I will say that it's about a 35-minute show so far. It's a 35-minute actual live 100th episode special show, and then afterwards we're going to talk about it maybe a little bit. I'm not 100% on that because I don't know exactly what else we're doing that day production-wise. So it's going to be an amazing show, and I hope you guys tune in. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed today's update video on how to organize your footage. Please let us know in the comment section below if this is how you organize your footage. Let us know if maybe you organize your footage a different way that might be a little bit better. We want to know exactly, maybe you do something different. This is a community after all. It's not just me behind a microphone, which for right now it is, but it is a community. So let us know your feedback and maybe any tips and tricks you have of doing it, because the more we all learn as a community, the better we can be in the end as a result. I've always learned that it's always better to have everyone's opinion, and there's been times on the show where I've said something and you guys out there in the beautiful, beautiful audience of VLAMP have said, hey, this is how I do it. And I say to myself, wow, that's a whole lot better idea, So let us know, and maybe we'll create another update video a little bit later on. This is how we just have been doing things for a very long time now, ever since that video aired, and then probably like a couple months after that, we decided to change our way of doing things because we were filming, 10 cameras for normal productions, and then we have, hours upon hours of footage, and then we film multiple events a day sometimes. So I'd much rather have, I'd much rather have different opinions on things, and this actually came from this idea of organizing things is just a way that we came up with a while ago. It's not necessarily the best per se, but it's a way we found works amazing for our productions and for the amount that we do, which, I mean, we do hundreds of productions a year, so if it works for us, it probably will work for you. But again, if you have any better ideas, let us know in the comment section below. Like I said, my name is Matt Haslam. I've been the host of MH News VLAMP now for over 100 episodes, and I'm so super excited to have that 100th episode special coming out next Monday. For those of you wondering, this is the schedule coming up here. We have up to episode 110 all scheduled already. Everything is already uploaded for those episodes. So everything is going to come out. If you are wondering, we also have other episode stuff that is over here on our blog. Kind of every one of these is technically a blog post, but they're all the videos itself. But we have other blogs on the website as well, which is mhnews.info, such as how I made a dolly for $15, which explains to you how exactly we made our dolly, which you can see right there. It's an amazing dolly that I use all the time, but everything is listed there. I mean, we have tons of these blog posts on the website besides what are just episodes that you guys see on the YouTube channel. Tons of stuff is on this website, such as more about the show, more about myself as the host. Click to our YouTube channel. You can also contact us by submitting a question to us and let us know a question you have for the show. I know the next Q&A that we do is going to be a live Q&A, not an edited one. So everything, well, I'm going to try to do as much live stuff from now on as possible because it's so freaking cool. I know it was like yesterday night, my friend decided to live stream for his production, and he invited me on the show, and it was an amazing time. So I'm going to try live streaming because it's so fun, and I've realized it's so fun to have that instant interaction with you guys. So if you want, you can also on the contact page, you can support the show, donate any amount, every dollar counts. You can donate right there to the show to help keep this show alive and support us keep going. We've been doing 100 episodes now. This is over 100 episodes because of these 2 live broadcasts today, and with all the episodes that are scheduled to come out over the next couple weeks, it is a lot of content. We've actually done the statistics on the 100th episode special, where it's been 27 hours of complete content we've come out with, which means we've filmed for, probably like weeks to make that 27 hours of content for you guys, packed full of tons and tons of tips and tricks. So any support does help this show continue. This show takes a lot of time to make, so I don't want to ramble on that too much. But thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. I'm, of course, your host, Matt Haslam. I hope you enjoyed the tips and tricks we've shown you in today's episode, and I hope you join us next Monday, July 10th, 2017 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the live broadcast of the 100th episode special. Thank you all for joining us, and see us next time. Bye for now.